Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank all of my colleagues today for their hard work and certainly to holding our witness accountable for the long history of partisan and improper behavior, for the mishandling of the January 6th investigation, and for his inability to do his critical, important job to its standards. I want to remind the committee that this whole hearing is premised on a non-statistical survey and an opinion article that's disguised as serious oversight. The report is, and I want to quote again, a non-statistical survey, end quote, that, quote again, cannot be projected to the entire population of CBP and ICE law enforcement officers and agents. This is, again, a report that would not hold muster in any serious survey work. Now, without making this hearing a lesson on statistical methods and data integrity, if you're not willing to put in place data controls or use the foundational basics of statistics, you're left with the equivalent of a Twitter poll or a Yelp review. Now, I spent some time studying statistical methods when I did my doctoral work, and this work in this report would never be accepted in a basic stats class. This isn't about data from the Department of Homeland Security, as you claimed in response to my earlier question. This is about the methods that you chose to publish publicly to push a political argument. This report indicates that you knew the fundamental problems with the report, yet you published it anyway. Now, our committee relies on the work of dedicated inspector generals to root out against waste, fraud, and abuse. I also just want to note, and this was actually a very important note from earlier in the hearing, that I am extremely concerned that today, in front of our committee, and by the way, that oversees the Federal Records Act, that you admitted to deleting federal records based upon your own determination. That should concern the chairman and this entire committee. Now, I personally have no confidence in your ability to hold up the mission that you are intended to do. Now, coming here with a study that doesn't meet the basic standards of data reliability by your own admission should be an embarrassment. An inspector general who does not understand his own duties, who resists basic congressional oversight, who is deleting federal records, who is under investigation, and who has lost the faith of his workforce has no business serving. And before I close, Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to include in the record a letter to both the chairman and myself from the Project on Government Oversight, dated June 6, 2023, that speaks to the continued concerns with the Inspector General and how his inability to perform his job is preventing independent oversight. And I also ask unanimous consent to include into the record a letter from September 2022 from concerned DHS staff representing every program office at every level to the President detailing the IG's troubling management of the office, and I want to quote his disastrous leadership. With that, I yield back.